You want a piece of me, boy?
Nuclear launch detected.
Hello and welcome back with us for this last series of the last day of round of 32 here at NationWars. And I'm here with Funka and Rotterdam.
All right, last game, last qualified country, whether it be Spain, Germany. Obviously the odds are in favor of Germany, I guess, but still a decent match to look at. I think we don't really know how to place those Spanish players at the moment within the European scene.
Yeah, I mean, Soler and Aqueron I'm quite familiar with, but I have no idea who they will send in as their third player because, like I said before, Majestic decided not to sign up, and I'm a little bit sad about that because even a Majestic out of shape would still be very valuable, I think.
Yeah.
And he always says he's out of shape, but he's still very active on Twitter, and you know, you see him in the Twitch chat, so I would have loved to see the old man take the youngins under his wing. But I still think it's going to be a pretty fun match. Obviously, like I said, Germany a big favorite, but I think it will provide some high-quality games.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a closer look to this lineup of Germany. We have Showtime as their captain, Hero Marine, and Tielo.
Yeah, the same team.
Actually, sorry, Tielo is the team captain,
Tielo
my
is
bad.
the captain, okay. Well, the lineup doesn't change that much. That's the exact same one we had last year. They were able to do their top 4, which is their best result, and they really looked super solid last year. I think, well, most of those players, they just did their part, you know, like they took a couple of games here and there. Obviously, Hero Marine, like a pretty good stats in the tournament, 13 and 11. Obviously, Showtime from time to time can be a brutal player and even probably the best Protoss in Europe. And well, the stats shows that as well. 18 and 10 is pretty sick.
Yeah, Showtime had some sick games last year, man. I really enjoyed his games against Cham that he had. Multiple sick games on Foundry Research Station.
I remember those ones.
He was supposed to die for like 12 minutes in a row, but he just kept being annoying with a War Prism, dropped a couple Zealots, killed all those drones of Cham. Some really fun stuff, and obviously a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Germany go very far here. No one is surprised if they would somehow make a top 4 here or even go to the final. But I think they absolutely have their work cut out for him. Like, I think all 3 of them are super good, but I don't necessarily see them as a favorite against some of the other top European nations.
Yeah, well, I guess, you know, like against Poland might be tough. Obviously, well, Finland on a good day with a Serral that plays at the top level. Obviously, that's also going to be a problem.
I think even Serral on a bad day is a problem for almost anyone, man. Like,
yeah, Serral in any day is still a threat, but really strong team. Part of the the crew of teams that has the deeper lineups. You know, like every single player in this team is able to beat basically anybody.
And all 3 races as well, right?
Races. It's a perfect team in my opinion for Germany.
Of course, some people were arguing that perhaps it was time for Lambo to make an appearance rather than TLO, but of course TLO still has a big following. And let's not count Dr. Dario out. Even though his 2017 was not really his year, we all know that he kept running into Neep over and over again. So far 2018 has also not been his year yet, but TLO is still one of the best Zerg players out there outside of Korea. Can absolutely surprise, can take a map of almost anybody, and I'm sure he's very eager to show everyone that he still deserves to be part of this lineup, and it's not time for Lambo just yet.
So we have here a really solid, balanced and experienced lineup for Germany, and they're gonna face Spain. And in Spain we have Hunter, Acheron and Solier.
Well, yeah, you know, it's a it's a lineup that has potential, as Roddy said. Both Aquarian and Sulir, really youngster, you know, really young players, have a lot of potential. But it's not the Spain from back then with Lucifron and
Vortex.
And Vortex. It used to be a really strong team, but as you can see, you know, they only did top 16 back then with those players, so they didn't do that well either. But yeah, a really new team, a really new generation of Spanish player that we will see today.
Yeah, and of course their sub is strong. I mean, Alastair has been around for a very long time. He's still a very dangerous Zerg player to face for almost anyone as well in this tournament. But I'm mostly excited to see these 2 young'uns in action. Sulir, someone that I've been familiar with for quite some time. He seems very eager, very motivated. And then Aqueron, who doesn't get the same love as Rainier and Clem because he's not just at that level yet, but he's really close as well, man. And for his age, that kid is incredible. probably good. And I'd love to see him go up against some of those more well-known German players.
Yeah, well, we'll probably see that today because I do believe we should see every single player from the Spanish lineup. So we'll see how
All-kill Sulia.
how good. You call the all-kill Sulia?
No.
Is that because he's Zerg or because he beats you on the ladder all the time?
Maybe a little bit of both, but
Yeah.
don't talk to me about it.
Okay, well, let's check out our predictions. What do you think about this series?
I think I've been mean a little bit.
I think I went 4-2. I really believe in these young'uns. I think they can get the
Oh,
well, I went for 4-1. Okay. Well.
and Funka went for 4-0 for Germany.
Yeah, I believe in the German lineup. I believe in their experience. I believe that any single player on this lineup can all kill, and I also expect I'd say Hero Marine as a starter.
Big Gabe?
Yeah, big game to start things off, and like a solid Terran is always like a good pick for an all kill. We just saw that just before in the matchup between Brazil and Bolivia, and I think that could happen like quite the same way. Even though Big Game is a better Terran player, obviously.
Yeah, I think all three of them are likely to start. I mean, I'm sure that Showtime would love to make a strong appearance here and give off a statement. And on the other end, like I said, TLO would love to prove some of the people wrong that said like, maybe it's time for Lambo. Maybe it's not your time anymore, TLO. But I still think Dario is very good.
You know what? I have the answer. The starting player for Germany is going to be Showtime, and against Hunter for Spain on Neon Violet Square.
Oh, so that means we kick things off with a PvP.
And as I love ZVZ, I also love PvP. I love my mirror matchups. So I'm happy to start things off with this. And also because, as you mentioned, Hunter is the less known player in the Spanish lineup. So we'll see because, yeah, starting against Showtime, obviously not an easy feat.
No, PvP, I mean, Showtime showed us in WCS Leipzig that he's excellent in this matchup as he was able to defeat Nieb back then in the semifinals in an amazing series. Let's see how he's going to play this match. As he's representing Germany, spawning in the right bottom side, it is Showtime.
In the top left, in the blue, also Protoss representing Spain. He is Hunter.
España.
Yeah.
Now, Showtime had a couple of great games in this matchup. The one victory that I was really impressed by that he had over Nieb was actually on Neon Violet Square, which is where it was a Phoenix War, but Showtime played the most honest version of the Phoenix War. He expanded very safely. He dropped the Robo, and then he realized that it's Phoenix against Phoenix. Nieb didn't get the Robo, and winning a Phoenix against Phoenix when you have a Robo, your opponent doesn't. I mean, that's gas. That's not super useful. I'm not going to say observers are useless, because they're not at all. You can keep track of the Phoenix movement. You can count the Phoenixes as well. And at that point, your opponent doesn't really have detection, so you can see pretty much everything. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a cheeky boy, you just go blind double Stargate, hope for the best. You don't want to take the fight too early, not too late either, because you play against DTs, possibly. But Showtime just still got the job done. Went Stargate, Robo, still won the Phoenix War, and I'm like, damn, I mean, that's an honest victory if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, one of the safest Protoss out there, Showtime that is, and obviously when you are able to beat somebody at the caliber of Nieb, it shows that your PvP is in a strong state. It's always been like one of the great oppositions in the PvP matchup between Nieb and Showtime. It's been happening for a couple of years now, and yeah, you mentioned it. Showtime got the upper hand at the beginning of the year.
That is so early. Well, what's the point of that shield battery? I'm so confused right now. Oh, okay, sorry. I'm blind. I'm colorblind today.
Well, the blue and red on this map, it's actually rather hard to see.
I am so confused, but of course he's just trying to lock the probe into the main base to make sure you can get the kill. That's very nice, because then you don't have to worry about where that probe is. You can also go a little crazier with your stalkers, because you don't have to worry about that probe sneaking back in and spotting your tech. It's Stargate on both sides. So obviously I like that move by Hunter. It's a minor investment, but getting the kill on the probe is worth it. He also went for the pylon block on the right bottom side of the map. So I was going to delay this Nexus a tiny bit, but in the end the difference isn't that big. Now there is a sentry on the side of Showtime, and that sentry could be very useful in a Phoenix battle, because obviously you can hallucinate a Phoenix and then you can scout without being in danger of losing one of your first units. But it's an Oracle instead.
Yeah, first Oracle for Showtime, so no Phoenix. We'll try to see what Hunter Hunter decides to do, but that's a 3-stalker against 2-stalker battle. Obviously not a good one to take for Hunter. Let's see while he penetrates the maze. Gonna take a little bit more shots and will remain alive in the end, but that was close.
Not a very beautiful start here for Hunter in the end. He got the probe, that was sweet, and then I was kind of hoping for him, you know, just to cheer for the underdog a little bit, that he opens up Phoenix here, and then he has a lot of potential. Instead, it's Oracle versus Oracle, while he has a much later Nexus, and he doesn't have the shield battery in the main, while Showtime does. So basically everything going Showtime's way, and Hunter, I actually think he's going to end up losing a few probes here already. He's going to end up losing a little bit of mining time too. Stalker's way out of position.
Yeah, baited by a hallucinated Phoenix as he saw the Oracle, because both of them passed each other. Ooh, the micro from Showtime, not perfect. Did he get like, what, 3 probes?
Yeah, 3. I mean, that's already pretty solid.
Yeah.
Now, both players queue up a Phoenix as well, but this Oracle is not going to be very successful because of that shield battery that I mentioned before, and Hunter is already down 6 probes.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad for a Spanish player. And Showtime did lose eventually his Oracle. I get it. The Phoenix went and got him on the east side of his main base, but still, like, the difference in economy and the difference in the Nexus timing is going to be a tough one for Hunter in this game.
Yeah, Hunter is going to follow this up now with his own Robo, so no Twilight. He's just going to go Robo instead, wants to get a couple of Immortals out, I assume, maybe Observer, then Immortal. Well, Showtime is actually like, you know what, so let's actually get some damage done with a couple of Phoenixes, why not? I am pleased with what I've achieved with my Oracle. I know that I'm economically ahead, and what if these Phoenixes just get a handful of probes?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to be even further ahead, why not?
Exactly. And with 3 Phoenixes already in the air and a couple of Adepts actually going to follow that up. So
I love that.
It's going to be a 2-pronged attack. Maybe a Phoenixes to the main and maybe the Adepts on the natural. There is a Stasis Ward at the top of the ramp. Let's see if he shades beforehand Showtime, or does he go to the right side?
Normally you should. He's actually going to get trapped, but...
What happens? Yeah. What happens when the shades finish?
I think the shade finishes.
And that's it?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to trigger a stasis.
That's actually pretty sick. I didn't know about that.
Not something you see super often, guys, but you just shade out of the stasis. Didn't get too much done, though. I would have loved to see him time that a little bit better. Just go Phoenix in the main, 2 Adepts in the natural, because there were only 2 Stalkers there. 2 Stalkers have a tough time. Showtime is going to get both sentries here as well, besides a handful of probes. I mean... Showtime is just running away with this game.
That's a beautiful game from Showtime, and every time I see those kind of openings from Protoss, I always remember that Phoenixes are quite tanky, especially against a small number of Stalkers. As we see during this game, well, even the Phoenix is going to get taken down, and Showtime is just running away with this game, going to get some more economy for himself on the natural, which puts the difference to 10 probes, gets the Oracle, and Hunter is just falling apart right there.
Yeah, poor Hunter. Nothing is really going his way pretty much since the beginning of this game. If only he would have opened up with the Phoenix, then this could have all been different. Now Hunter is going to go for a Prism Resonating Glaives attack. He's trying to hide the gateways on the left top side. You need to do something. I don't mind him going for this attack, because if he tries to play a very normal game and go Archon Immortal Charge here, there's simply not a chance. Now, is this going to work? Obviously, I don't think so, but I still like it. Throw a curveball, try to catch your opponent off guard. You know, it's everything or nothing.
Yeah, trying to play like a standard strategy while you're so behind, it doesn't make that much sense. So I guess strategically speaking, Hunter is taking the right decision. But considering how far behind he is in this game, it's going to be a tough one. We'll see the Glaive finishing in a couple of seconds as the 5 gateways will come in.
You know what I'm worried about? For him to even get the Prism to the other side of the map. Okay, at least he's worried about it as well. And he positions it quite smartly.
He's got an escort.
Yeah, he's escorting it with a little crew. But this is obviously great news for Showtime, because now he picks up on it very early. Showtime has got his own 4 gates finishing up. Now, normally charge against Glaives, if you don't have Archons in the mix, it's actually not the greatest potential fight, but the shield batteries, that is what's really going to help Showtime out here a lot. The Immortals, of course, are very tanky. Don't forget about all those Phoenixes, man. All these Phoenixes, they're very useful against Adepts, because Adepts are light armored units, so Adepts actually die very fast, and, you know, there isn't that much anti-air. This is like one of these moments where you're getting ready for a fight, and if you're Hunter right now, you're like, okay, I've got a very, very, very bad feeling about it. But I'm committed to the cause. I will not let my children drown. We're gonna go for it.
Yeah, let's see. And he actually gonna put his adepts
no.
right on top of a stasis ward. He traps the immortals. He traps most of the army from Showtime. But there is not enough anti-air, I believe, on the opposite side. So the Phoenixes are actually having a field day here.
If I'm an immortal, I file a harassment suit right now. I'll be like, I really did not sign up for all these hogs. I don't know what these guys are doing around me. This is getting a little too close for comfort. Now it's finally finishing up, but with all these shield batteries, with these tanky immortals, the Phoenix is helping out as well. I see simply no way that this ends well for Hunter.
Yeah, 54 army supply against the 20 of Hunter, and all the adepts are getting cleaned up. Only a couple of stalkers remaining, at least one remaining. It will get picked off. 5 more adepts are not going to change anything. He might even be able to block the shades, and that's what he does. Even the Oracle comes into the party, and that's everything Hunter has that goes down. GG, Showtime, and Germany takes the first point.
If you talk about German efficiency, I think
God.
This game was... this is pretty much what you find when you look it up in the dictionary, because I feel that Showtime did almost everything right since the very get-go. Also getting the shield battery in his main, perhaps expecting a potential Oracle opening, even though he didn't see it. There's nothing else to add. He really did almost everything right.
That's what happens when you look at a Protoss that's at the top level, like really top level. He has everything on lockdown. He knows what he has. He knows what he has to do with what he scouted. He anticipates it right. He has the right composition. Even the stasis ward placement was top notch. And that defense, even though it looked a little bit funny with the adepts shading in.
This is so cute. I've rarely seen this actually. Man, these poor immortals. It's like they're taking the subway in Paris at 9 AM. It's like, this is way too many people here. Like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is my stop. Get out.
Oh my God! Yeah, taking the subway at 7 AM in Paris is not a funny experience. That's what the Immortals kind of felt like in this fight. But no, perfect defense on the side of Showtime, and just in general, he was super effective, as you mentioned, with the Phoenixes. He got everything he needed. Every time you get a sentry with Phoenixes, I believe like that's one of the best feelings that you could have.
It's like 100 gas, and it's like and they die so quickly. Yes. It's so satisfying. Yeah. It's like the good old Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix is attacked twice. 10 threes, adapts, they're all light armored units, so it's twice and then it's double damage as well. And it's like, oh, this is really sweet. You lift it up and then these stalkers are throwing rocks at you and you have tanky Phoenix.
Just go away, shoo. It's like, I don't even feel it,
Next player for Spain. Now, I am okay with both options. It really depends on the map, which is obviously something that we could have looked up. I kind of feel... Aquarian here.
Aquarian?
Yeah, Aquarian. Why not? I mean, I think that Showtime his PvT has not been rock solid lately. I feel that his PvZ is actually still quite good. Are we going to get a PvT? No.
We're going to get Sulir. So one of the 2 younger players in this team of Spain. And so we'll go into a PvZ then.
Yep. Sulir, really a fun guy. He was actually, he came in my chat a couple of weeks ago while I was streaming because he wasn't doing too well in the vote. And he's like, hey, Roddy, I need a favor. I need a speech. And I was like, okay. And I was actually, I looked at the other players as well. I was like, actually, I think the kid deserves it. I know that he's been working really hard. He plays a lot of games. I compared him to the other guys that people were voting for. And I was like, you know what? I feel that people should vote for Sulir because he deserves a spot on the team. Not because I think he's a nice kid, but because he's good enough.
And he's your Roddy sub, is the question.
No, he's not.
So you actually pushed his candidature without even having him as a sub.
No, of course.
He's such a people's champ.
No, I mean, I just like to see good players in this tournament, and I feel he absolutely deserved it.
Makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and introduce those players. This is game 2 of Germany versus Spain, and in the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it is Showtime.
As it seems like our map is Blackpink, and not necessarily the greatest map for Zerg out there, but also not horrible, of course. Could have been Backwater. That's a little more dicey. On the right top side, we're looking in the main base of our Spanish young Zerg player, Sulir. Opening up with the hatch first here, so macro-oriented for now. He's not too crazy. Is he aggressive? Sure, he can absolutely be aggressive with roaches and links, but not the type of aggression that you see of 22 drones, Maybe a little bit later, once he has his 3 bases up and running. I'm expecting him just to try to play a very clean early game. I am sure that he knows Showtime very well, and then you know what to expect. The Adept shade out, perhaps the second Adept looking for some drones, the Oracle follow-up, maybe Oracle Phoenix, Oracle Phoenix. You know Showtime, he switches it up, and I honestly don't think it's based upon much. It's just like some games, I'll go for the Phoenix first.
I just feel like it this time, you know. Let's go for Oracle, Phoenix, Oracle, whatever. But yeah, super solid. Showtime will have to be, you know, taken by surprise, I feel, for Soulier to you know, do the job in this game. We'll see what the Spanish player tries and decides to go for. For now, fairly standard opening as Showtime is showing off his APM, trying to push the, you know, the income a little bit further away from him with this probe micro. Cybernetic score is gonna come up, and you anticipate the Stargate. So patch is live, but we'll still see a lot of Stargates. You think we'll see like some adaptation at some point for a different building as an opener?
Neep actually showed us yesterday that apparently you can go double gate and then a Twilight and still hold a Roach Ravager all-in of 21 drones, but normally you're not supposed to hold that easily. Stargates were of course super useful against the Link Floods, but that's not the only reason why people love Stargate. It's just that Zerg players became very good against almost any sort of straight Twilight opening. They got super good against the Dark Templar drop as well. You still see it every now and then, but the map has to be large. On the smaller maps, without a Stargate, normally those early Roach pushes are still very tough to defend. Now, of course, if you go gate before Nexus, which is what almost all the pros do, you have Cybernetic score and Warp Gate a little bit faster. I don't know, Funka. I can't answer it. I actually think we're still going to see Stargate for quite some time.
Okay. Okay, interestingly enough, I expected, you know, all the Protoss to feel like they're freed from the Stargate openings. Like, oh, finally we can do something else and not die to a couple overall drops. But obviously, Stargate's still a super potent building for the Protoss race. Opening with an Oracle is always good. Revelation is just too good to pass on.
And one of the biggest strengths of the Stargate is, of course, just to have some map presence. It's not even about the damage that the Oracle does. Do you want to get damage? Of course, you want to get a couple drones if you can. But it's mostly just about being able to spot the random all-ins. If you would open up with Adepts and you're going to go for Resonating Glaives, let's say, then you have to be very worried the moment Zergling Speed finishes up, and you kind of have to stay at home for a while. And then there is a minute or so where you just don't know what's happening on the other side of the map.
Right.
And if you play with a Stargate, you always know what happens, because the Oracle gives you eyes on the map and gives you a unit that simply will not get picked off by Zerglings with speed.
Yeah, basically that's it. Evo Chamber comes in from Soulier. We'll see what he decides to go for. Expecting probably melee, but we'll see what he decides to go. Double Spore coming in now that he knows that Stargate is on the way. Well, it's here, and the Oracle is already on the map. Twilight Robo as a transition from Showtime. Nothing too out of the ordinary here.
Very fast missile attacks, but we don't have a Roach one yet.
Yeah.
So, but we also don't have a layer yet, right? Or am I crazy?
No. It's a late layer. You're totally right on this one. Getting one drone.
This is kind of a crazy opening, then, to get +1 missile attacks this fast. I mean, it's really time for your Roach Warren then, buddy, I feel. Especially with that Warp Prism already on the production tab.
Yep.
4 gateways on the production tab as well. There you go. Soulier fires up 12 links and the Roach Warren, which he really needs against this potential aggression from Showtime.
Okay, picks up an overload there. As you mentioned, it's 4 extra gateways, pushing the total number to what, 6, I believe, 5 maybe.
I think he squeezed in 1 before, so I think it's 6.
So it's gonna be 6 with the Prism available. Templar Archive perfectly lined up, so he'll be able to do that first poke with double Archon, and if he feels like he's got the opportunity to maybe reinforce with some Zealots.
Good positioning there on the Adept and the Zealot. If those would get surrounded by the links, things could be a little bit dicey. Of course, the Oracle is like protecting them from the skies as well. And it's like, don't worry, guys. Justice reigns from above with his Pulsar Beam. But let's see if Soulier is able to handle. I mean, this is kind of what I mentioned, right? It's just hard to really get much done here against the Oracle.
Super hard to attack into. Imagine just before you could do that, and you also had Photon Overcharge to defend with.
Yeah.
How is it possible that Protoss isn't lost Nexus back then? I don't know. The Archons are actually going to come in to the mineral line, getting 3 drones once again. Going to try and destroy that.
That's a lot of damage on the Prism. It's not going to fall. Showtime turned around to pick up the other Archon as well. 9 HP. Oh.
That's confidence right there.
And now he morphs in Zealots here as well, or warps in Zealots rather.
What a crazy Protoss player. As Zealot Charge just finished up, and those Roaches and Queens outside of Creep are actually taking a lot of damage, and that's already super, super, super good for our good friend Showtime on this one, getting so many Roaches, so many gas for just Zealots.
Because Soulier just wants to go. He still didn't start like really anything else behind this, so I really had the feeling that he wanted to perhaps just march across the map with Lynx, Roaches, Ravages, and of course Queens, but now he lost his Queens, so now he's going to fire up Roach speed, but it's obviously going to take a while. Morphs all these Ravages. Showtime looks at it as like, that's a lot of Ravages, buddy, from a pretty bad economy. So.
Yep. What are you trying to achieve here? Are you trying to all-in me? And that's a pretty good start for Showtime. I mean, you know that your opponent is going for a timing push, and you just killed so many Roaches for free. Just a couple of Zealots as you are sitting on 3-base economy. Even the Oracle is going to kill a Ravager even before he reaches the 3rd base.
Yeah, has a lot of energy as well. The Queen's, of course, not here to protect that Ravager, and this is not a fight that I ever see Soulier win. Kind of a disastrous game in the end. As, you know, he wasn't just ready for those first Archons, really went for the Prism, couldn't get the Prism either. This Oracle's having an absolute field day against his army that just doesn't shoot up. The pylon being warped in time as well. Showtime is playing very clean so far in these first 2 games.
Yeah, you're right. He's playing a perfect game right there. Defensively speaking, every single unit is in place. Even the pylon in the midst of all of this is trying to attack. Look at the resources lost tab. Almost 5k to the 1200 of Showtime. And I think we should see a GG fairly soon because there is nothing to go back from. GG. Showtime makes it 2-0 with ease, Roddy.
Yeah, Showtime looking like he's not here to mess around, he's not here to put on a show. Showtime is all business so far. Yeah, those are the 2 cleanest games I think I've seen in the round of 32.
Oh yeah, definitely. Showtime looking like the boss he is.
So
today.
GG, Germany here takes a 2nd point for their nation, and it looks good for them to qualify for next round.
Yeah. It seemed rather well. It's not over yet. I mean, you know, but Showtime playing as cleanly as he is right now. I don't know. Maybe, well, Aquarian has to do something, and he has to do it right now.
I mean, lately, it's all about those young wonder boys that are stealing the show, right? Rainer has been absolutely stealing the show. Serral's still young. Neep's still young. Clem is also getting all the love. Let's see if Aquarian can really push himself into that discussion as well and perhaps cause an upset here and take out Showtime. But, yeah, defeating this kind of a Showtime who plays that well, it's like 900 resources against 5k almost. I mean, come on. That normally you feel like, oh, those guys are leagues apart, right? Like, no, Soulier is actually a very legit above 6k MMR Zerg, guys. It's just Showtime is that good.
Yeah, Showtime is on a roll, and yeah, he can ride this momentum easily. He knows that there is not a single player in this lineup that should be too much of a threat. Like, of course, he will respect those opponents, but he knows that on paper he should win all those games. And seeing how well he plays right now seems a little bit tough for Spain to climb back into this game.
Okay, well, we'll find out just after a really short break if Spain can take a point to Germany. Bonsoir and welcome back for this last series of the day, Germany-Spain. And we have Showtime and Akeron playing right now.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough for our young Terran player because as we talked a little bit about it with Roddy just before, well, Showtime seems like he's on a good day.
Yeah, but Showtime's been on a good day for quite some time, I want to say, starting in 2018. Kind of hyped him up, saying 2017 wasn't his year when we thought it was going to be, and then bam! Second place.
Comes back in
Germany.
Right.
So
Hometown.
Instantly.
So this third game is gonna be played on Acid Plant.
Okay, Acid Plants, TVP. Yeah. I think the difference in terms of raw skill between those two players is so wide. We already know that, guys. We're so hyped and rock around. Yeah, we know. But yeah, TVP on the... Well, the thing is, like, between those two players, I think there is a lot of, the difference in terms of skill. And I don't think the map is going to play a role that much. Maybe there's, like, a weird cheese that has like a 95% win ratio as Terran against Protoss on Acid Plant, but I don't know about it.
You know what has a 100% win ratio against Protoss?
Tell me.
2 Factory Cyclone.
2 Factory Cyclone? Yeah, in NationWars. That's
in
right.
NationWars, yeah.
NationWars, it did work 100%
Twice,
of the time.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
we saw it second time on Blackpink, I believe.
Le
but-
Blackpink?
Yes.
No.
But maybe
Nobody's-
like La Blackpink?
La Blackpink.
I mean, they're
La.
women.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Probably.
Should be La.
Probably.
La Blackpink.
Yeah, I'm
La.
going to correct you
Black-
French guys on your French.
Okay, well, I think the game is ready, and here we go for Showtime and Acheron on Blackpink.
Let's do this. Chess.
Yes.
Is there a way that Acheron takes this map?
If he chooses. That's actually why I brought it up. I thought it was legitimately the real chance that he had. I think that Terran does have, I mean, obviously it's surprisingly in favor of Terran. I still don't like, I don't see his map enough to be like, well, I know exactly why, but it's surprising. But it's the skill difference of the two players that really tells the tale here, not the map choice. And I don't think that whatever is being abused in this map for Terran, maybe the drops, the large areas to drop right, I'm not sure Archon's even going to get that far, but I guess we're going to find out now, as it's game number 3. And in the top left, as the red Protoss, it is Showtime.
And his opponent in the bottom right, apparently tough to select the blue color twice in a row. It is the green Terran, Acheron.
Gotta shake it up.
Yeah, they were purple, I think,
Yeah,
last
purple
game.
Zerg.
And now we're talking about a green Terran. When every single game has been red and blue.
Darn them.
Darn them.
Yeah, they didn't even go with the best
Darned.
Terran color either, which is white.
Yellow.
What?
Yellow.
Yellow is the
best
best
color.
No.
Yellow.
No, what's no?
Thank
okay,
you. Thank you, Mapu. You
no
know.
longer friends with any of you.
Yeah.
Yellow is such a terrible color. The only one it looks good on is Protoss because they're already kind of yellow.
That's not a good excuse at all. I'm not going to accept that. No.
Whatever, man.
It's just yellow. It's just yellow. And I don't like the color in itself, but I like it in StarCraft. Well,
Actually, that's a good point.
I do like every single color in StarCraft, to be honest. But, yeah, yellow is good.
It's really
I
hard
like
to
yellow.
hate a color, to be honest.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
Do I hate a color? I'm trying to, trying to figure it out, but no.
No. No.
Nah.
Yeah, probably
Nah.
not.
Probably not.
No.
Nah. Okay, there's nothing to be. This conversation is not going anywhere. So let's focus back on the game for now. While waiting on the 7A score to finish, so we can know what Showtime decides to go for. As we have, did he start with a Reaper? Acheron, that is.
Yes, I do believe
He has a Reaper.
Mhm.
Come on.
And
Reapers are so bad.
They are bad. So the
They're
only
so bad on
spot
Acid Plant.
that they have a hop up on is right near the natural, and that's like a very technical like hop up there. So
Yes.
that doesn't really count. The truth is, it's very possible that it just doesn't see what that tech choice is. We know that it's a Twilight Council, but will Acheron see that? It's that's up in the air. He is going for a 2-1-1, bit of middle of the road, kind of get fast. Faster medevacs and then a decent amount of units, but slightly different than the 1-1-1 I think we've seen most Terrans do versus Protoss, and then we might have seen like a 1-3 racks maybe, but
Did we see that? I was wondering also, because
Yeah, I'm
that's
sure we
you know,
did.
it's a rather potent strategy. But the thing is, like, if you get scouted and you play against a decent Protoss that knows how to react, then like you take a slightly later third, and your opening can just be rather bad as Terran, because you build nothing but Marines, and then you can get countered quite easily. In this game, we will see a 2-1-1 with a Widow Mine in the middle, so not gonna go straight up to the reactor on the factory, but rather just getting that safety mine, which would connect probably with the the timing of an Oracle. Just rather defensive, I would say, for now.
maybe over defensive. I really wonder.
Maybe over defensive.
Because he's not going to have the good old starport reactor swap as soon as both of them finish, and medevac timings are probably the most important part of Terran, or you could definitely argue that. So like even delaying double medevac seems like it's already thrown off the boat a little bit. And of course, it's not a Stargate. If you're really afraid of it because you haven't scouted, which again hasn't gotten the full scouting information, you can put a bunker at the front and then split your Marines in the back, and that like usually protects you against everything. this might be an okay tell. Like, you have Stalkers, you have a frontal wall off with a shield battery. You probably went for a Twilight Council with Blink.
The Robo is going to finish up. He grabs a third assimilator. Will increase the amount of gas that he can gather every minute. So we'll see what the transition will be. Does he go straight to another upgrade on that Twilight Council? Or, yeah, it will drop down a third Nexus earlier. Doesn't see anything coming from Acheron's way for now. Still expects a drop. And probably is right because we've seen a Medivac, like a single Medivac. Did he move? Did that first Medivac move?
It's somewhere.
Okay, it's on top of the army. So just gathering as many forces as he can, but still no third CC and no extra barracks. Okay, that should be a CC. Okay, but no extra barracks. So the 2-on-1 that we are kind of used to seeing in TVZ still has the same problematic. If you lose those units, then your production is so low. You don't have that much. You produce 2 Marines and a Marauder for each cycle, 3 Marines, depending on what you want. So you can't really give away those units because after that you'll have a super long period of time where you don't have anything to put pressure on.
So instead of just having like 2 running around with Stim, he actually has 3, and he managed to bring the Widowmine along too after it sniped a unit. It's really not that bad, and it's quite the surprise. Showtime, he did eventually get a Robo. It took some time for the Observer to get over, so he didn't keep tabs on where the army was, and since it's fully unloaded, he would have to wait for more reinforcements.
Yeah, and he will just sacrifice the third base, lost a couple of probes in the process, but that's about it. Just the Nexus will fall. Let's see if Showtime can do it with his Blinkstalker micro. We'll get that Widowmine into sequence, and now the Bio will take care of that shield battery. Nice opening from Acheron, just dealing the damage that he needed, and those Blink Stalkers, they don't seem to be enough, even though the Blink micro is pretty good out of the German Protoss.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Showtime didn't realize what was going on until the Observer only hit the other side of the map. I want to say like 20 seconds ago or something like that, but that's a guess. The point is, like, he kind of went through the whole motion probably of like, oh, it's not a Widowmine drop, maybe it's a 3 racks, and that would be hitting a little bit later at a time where he probably would have been a little bit more prepared. Instead, it was triple drop off a 2-1-1, and it absolutely caught him by surprise. Now, however, his gateway count's kicking in, his upgrades are finishing, he's kind of getting revenge, forcing Acheron to stim so much. He's going to pick off every one of these Marines.
I think he will. With that Blink forward, we'll get 3 more Marines, and as the stim wears off, that might be an opportunity for Showtime to get those Marines, but he will go back home. No, actually keeps on going, and will try to use his micro to trade effectively against those bio units, getting 1 more Marauder, 1 more Marine, and I guess lowering the army count was rather good for Showtime, and just losing the Nexus and a couple of probes, it's not that bad. Like, he didn't try to defend, didn't throw away his units.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing, is that he didn't try to defend it. He just kind of was like, okay, my bad, I missed the Medivacs, and let's just keep this game going. I still have upgrades, which, I mean, Terran's going to fall behind almost regardless of what they do, but certainly with this one as well. And he's now going to be really pushing and pulling Acheron as he has a Warp Prism, drops out to the main. Production was building, very annoying for Terran. Charge is already done, so a lot of SUs are going to get sliced and diced.
Showtime is so decisive. Look at it. He will force the third CC to rise. Those Widowmines did connect pretty well on some of those Zealots, but once again, just being so effective with that Prism in the main. The timing of it is just perfect. Now Terran is not microing, so 2 Marauders will fall. Once again, dodging the Widowmine. Micro-wise, Showtime is perfect. The timing of this attack is just pristine, and Acheron, that looked good a couple of minutes ago, seems on the verge of losing.
Yeah, that happened very quickly, but it was the same way that those triple Medivacs kind of surprised Showtime. I think the Warp Prism Stalker combo surprised Acheron, and just, I mean, amazing micro from the Stalkers.
They did get 10 kills with that Widowmine drop. We don't have the WCS extension here, so we couldn't see the probes dying.
I mean, what is the workers killed overall? Because a lot of SCVs died to both the charge lots and 30 to 12, so... it went better for the Protoss.
Oh yeah, definitely. With 47 probes to the 39 of Acheron, and those Blink Stalkers, they keep on applying pressure. Like, if we could just see the amount of damage that they dealt, not the kills, but just the amount of sheer damage that they dealt since the beginning of the game, it would be quite impressive, I believe. And now Acheron will try to chase down those Blink Stalkers as the Blink is on cooldown, but will not even get one of them.
He can't really even confidently do that because the Warp Prism is still around and he's still scared of being attacked from behind. I do like that he's trying to continue with his own harassment, but it is at this point only one Widow Mine. Maybe he gets 4 probe kills here.
Yeah. That's 3 more, I think he got. Ooh. The Prism was targeted down by the Widow Mine, which is kind of good for him, considering now the Prism is rather low life, so could be an opportunity for him to kill it afterwards. But as the +2 armor just kicked in, the rest of the army with now 3 Immortals and Sentries for Guardian Shield and Force Field. Showtime is just picking Acheron apart. There's nothing the Spanish Terran can do here. Just trying to leave is natural, but the SCVs and Mules are trapped. This is a terrible sight for a Terran player. You're trying to go back to the safety of your main, and there's nothing you can do.
SCVs are all trapped outside. Yeah, this is going to be game, and unfortunately, Spain will have to think of who to send out next as Showtime continues to look, I mean, as expected. That kind of gave the one victory to Spain because maybe Hero Marine, sometimes doesn't like Protoss that much, and then TLO, not on the same level recently as Showtime, but if it was Showtime first, I think I could have called a 4-0. But it's not over yet, but this game definitely is.
Yeah, this game definitely is. He will try, the last defense and tap out after he gets force fielded out. Showtime makes it a 3-0 for Germany. And it looks like a walk in the park for the German Protoss.
It does. That game was that little blip at the third base, and usually that's something to really talk about. But considering how much he got after it happened, like I'm talking 15 seconds, he immediately got more Stalkers, chased down the Marines and the Medivacs. I'd say that was actually totally fine.
It was totally fine for him, and it shows how much Showtime feels confident in his own place. Like, no, he's not gonna try for a last-minute defense of the third base. He accepts it. Okay, I didn't see it coming. My bad. I'm gonna lose that Nexus. Try to avoid losing too many probes, but not give any free units away. Yeah. And as you said, warping some more Stalkers, chase down those Medivacs, and then the pressure just kept on going with the Charge Zealot in the main.
Yeah. It's actually really... So I think that Acheron probably should have just picked up the Medivacs once he took the third base out. Oh, it's Solier as their ace.
Okay, we'll go back to a PVZ.
Yeah.
I don't know, none of those players really convinced me today.
Right.
It's not like, oh yeah, Solier was so close from getting that game, It's like, yeah, most of them just got crushed.
I was going to talk about what Acheron could have done better if he was the revive. There was the chance here, there, whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be the Zerg. I mean, I don't even know what they could have been discussing at the time. You have a good all-in, man.
Hey guys,
how good is Zerg?
Showtime is really, really strong, guys. It's, ay caramba. We'll see. What map are we looking at? It's Catalyst. So, Solier tried for a weird, timing or all-in in the game that they played against Showtime earlier. Maybe he goes for something along, in the same... The same general idea on Catalyst. The map is slightly better for it, considering it's so small, but also Showtime should expect it by now. So, however you look at it, it's still super, super hard for Spain to even get a point on the table.
It is. This is their last attempt to do so, though. And in the top left on a roll for Germany, it is the Red Protoss Showtime.
Bottom right, as the pink or purple Zerg, it is Solier for Spain. The last hope.
There's a very lightly colored purple on the overlay. I thought that was weird when I saw it in the... Well, it's happening there, but anyways, it's definitely purple.
It's purple.
So that was their the game on Black-Pink, wasn't it?
Yes,
the all-in,
they played back Black-Pink. He went for a quick evo with +1 missile. He just,
He got matched by a Protoss, who I feel also was setting up for something that, could have been aggressive, right? The charge lots were done, the Archons ready to go, but also could have been fine against the Roach attack. So.
Oh, Solier.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's bad. That's actually quite a bit of income that he just lost right there.
Yeah.
Because you have to count all the drones that were about to mine minerals that just completely stopped and stopped their cycle again, and all the the closer mineral patches that don't have perfect synchronization. After that, it's quite a bit actually. It's a costly mistake.
And you know, it was in the face of his opponent too. So it's just like
Like,
Showtime's
hey,
like, ah.
I'm actually scared. You can tell. You can tell.
Yeah. You know, so that was, you know, not unexpected for Solier to try and all in, and it's definitely not unexpected for him to do it again here. But I gotta say, besides Showtime just being all around a solid Protoss, really fixing things in 2018, and looking to be on a roll here right now, he also just seems to have some magic on Catalyst, a map where I would say it can be difficult, especially when you take the middle 4th base, as you usually do. You open yourself to a huge concave.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the point where you're like, oh, a Protoss just has to die here. And then the magical Protoss is the Neeb, Showtimes of the world, Zest, whatever. Those are the ones that are like, well, that just didn't make any sense. Like, he wasn't supposed to hold. And Showtime is definitely one of those guys. He's proven it a lot, I want to say, since Catalyst was introduced into the map pool.
Yeah, when you're able to, you know, perfectly micro sentries, Templars, and, you know, like Oracles, Phoenixes at the same time, then yeah. If you can throw down all those spellcasters in the fight and get, you know, those juicy storms, perfect force fields at the same time, then suddenly Protoss looks like a race that you can't really stop. You can't really just, you know, make die in general. And I remember some games from IM Katowice between Cyril and Neeb, and especially the game on Catalyst was just. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe my eyes.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. And then there's also...
He held for 25 minutes. Like, what?
Yeah.
You should die. Stop recalling everywhere and putting like 2 force fields and a, you know, and a battery shield and be able to hold. Like, it didn't make sense to me back then.
Yeah. It's and then Showtime had a couple of good games against Nurchi on this map where like similar things happened around that 4th. I think even in Germany he had it maybe against Cyril. Maybe it was the game that he won, but... That's maybe being a little too detailed now, as I can't quite remember. We have a Stargate opener with an Oracle, followed up by that Twilight Council. Ling's, of course, not going to be able to get in. Has there been any scouts yet for Solier? Takes his 3rd here. Just the Stargate, though. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the expected one, anyways. You see the Phoenix, you see the Oracle. But the Twilight Council, follow-up. It'd be a little harder to spot.
The timing on the Spore, quite okay. Let's see on the 3rd base. Does he have a Spore yet? No, but he also doesn't have any drones. Well, let's see what Showtime decides to do. Does it lift a Queen and get some damage done? The Oracle is going to get some free damage on his on its shield, so we'll have to retreat for a bit as we see Roach Warren and Evolution Chamber from Solier. At the same time, Evo was a little bit earlier last game. Roach Warren was way later back then, but he goes back through the missile, +1 missile attack.
I wonder how much Showtime's expecting kind of a very similar all-in. It's kind of lining up for that. As, you know, with the build that he did, it was the Archon drop with the charge lots, and those 2 things are good against Roaches. But, you know, if he starts off with the depths here, and we'll see how Community actually uses them. I mean, just kind of a start. You don't really have to really attack with all of them. If he uses them and then loses them, then we're in that typical, like, oh, the Protoss give away all their depth spot that can be a little bit complicated if Solier's going to go for the all-in. But we'll determine that a little bit later, as Resident Glades is still finishing up. Solier doesn't know about that.
I'd say it's looking rather decent for Solier. Like, if he doesn't take a lot of damage from those 9 Adepts, then suddenly he's got a decently timed lair. He will have a lot of Roaches with +1, when the only technology that's available for Showtime are Adepts. And Adepts, they don't fare well against those pesky Roaches. The Shades have been sent a little bit too late to my taste on the side of Showtime. Does he cancel? No. He will accept those Shades, go straight back to the main, and try to get some damage done to here. But for now, the defense from Solier is really good.
It's really good. That pounce on the top of the ramp was something that Showtime is simply not expecting. He could have sent a shade forward and been like, oh, no, that's a no-go zone. Or he could have just shaded backwards, I guess, is the other option to actually retreat. So we are in that kind of awkward position where if Solier did move across the map, there might have been an opening, but he's not going to go for the all-in. He's actually building drones as that happened, instead of on the Hydralist end. It's still an okay start for Solier.
It is.
But that could have been scary if there was suddenly an arm moving across the map and he didn't have any Adepts.
He had to wait for a long time before being able to produce extra drones, so that means that his economy is still not not amazing with only 54 drones. He will go for an extra round there, probably pushing himself to towards 60. Good job on the shield battery, keeping that probe alive as Showtime will get the charge lot upgrade as well as the +1, starts building some immortals. But we can see, I do believe from Solier, we've seen the Hydra Den. So he should be transitioning to those pesky Hydralisks at some point. As Storm is super far away, There's not an amazing numbers of Immortal, and economy-wise, he doesn't have the means to produce 1 billion Zealots, so I'd say Soulier looking pretty good for him in this game.
Yeah. If he had been able to drone even harder throughout the Adept attack, realizing how low it was going to go for him, then it would be like a really amazing game. But yeah, creep stride's actually looking pretty decent, as our server just showed us. That's something you usually super pay attention to in the mid game of PvZ, maybe when it's like really silly. But no, that's actually something worth talking about. It's going to be a lot of vision, and Showtime doesn't even have like a warp prism really to go in and try and remove these as an observer is over top of it. Oh, he's getting one now, I guess.
Okay, the prism is here. Does he have an observer yet?
It's in the middle of the map. Like if he wanted to go clear that up,
okay, sorry.
he could. I don't know if it's early on the top of the list for Protoss. Is also their pushes just kind of do that gradually anyway.
65 probes and not building any more on the side of Showtime, so that push will be a real one, as there's 4 extra Templars being warped in, 2 Zealots as well. We'll get a couple of Archons, and we'll start to work on the creep. But yeah, that's pretty helpful on the side of Soulier to have that much creep. He knows exactly how many units there is, and if he needs to pounce on the army, the Roach and Hydralisk will get a speed boost. That's obviously quite handy against Protoss in this situation. Oh my god, the army is splitting!
Oh, a little bit.
Okay, he was just splitting on... Yeah, okay, he meant that. I thought it was like a mistake or something.
Yeah, I was worried there as well. Showtime's gonna have a ton of charge lots. He's got the backbone, 3 Archons, 3 Immortals. It's not a bad army, but it is one that could get surrounded, especially as he retreats. He's gonna slap on those force fields, take a couple of Roaches with him, perhaps. Soulier, maybe back off from this, just kind of accept the fact that he gets to get away and you have to lose your 4th.
I still think it's a good position for Soulier. He can still, you know, re-expand to the right side. The drones have escaped, as well as the Queen. And yeah, the Zealots will not get the opportunity to kill those, so maybe you double expand right and left side at the same time. 70 drones now for the Spanish player, as the 4th base will get replaced. And can we take a look at the production tab for a bit so we can see, okay, +2 finished, still more Hydralisk, and the Storm that's been starting researching from the side of Showtime. It's halfway down now.
Obviously not the quickest one he could have gotten. He wanted to do that push a little bit more, but having to retreat, there was maybe once again that time where Soulier could have postured. Again, I'm not saying he could ever have killed Showtime, but definitely being a little aggressive, kind of scared the Protoss a little bit. Instead, he's sticking at home. It kind of turns out well for him as he does have to deal with some Warp Prism shenanigans, but I agree with your point about the double expand. He is close to max out since he didn't lose a lot of army there, so he's going to be able to afford it. You have a big Overlord drop headed towards the main, and Showtime, I don't know if he has any scouting on this or around that area.
I don't think he has. Okay, he's got a Phoenix, but that Phoenix is rather close to the main, so we will have to react quickly. We'll see if he decides to go for maybe a recall or just warp in some units. If it lines up, like luckily with a couple of Immortals coming out of the Robos, then maybe he can defend. But I think recall should be an option. I think the army is between the natural and 3rd base. It's moving right now. He doesn't have the energy in the main.
It's unfortunate, but his army really wasn't that far off. So, I mean, there's nothing important or too important immediately available. Maybe that Forge.
I love this split by Showtime.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's perfectly done, I think.
You're right, it is. There wasn't even really oh, you got a forceful donut. We got a missed, but that looked amazing.
What?
Very nicely done. Perfectly anticipated what Soulier would do there. And now Showtime, he might even be in a good position to actually move forward. Now he's out with the main as well.
It just cleared so much supply for basically Zealots and energy. Look at the resources lost. Once again, 7K, more than 7K for Soulier to pretty much half on the side of Showtime. So perfect play from Showtime. That defense, that double-pronged attack didn't work at all for Soulier. And he's not transitioning. We don't see any Lurker then. We don't see the Infestation Pit, so there will not be any tier 3 units. No Ultras, no other upgrades, which is a shame because the army from Showtime is actually gaining in quality.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Even army supply, upgrades are even as well, but tech-wise, 2 Immortals awkwardly off to the right side are going to be taken out. But it's not just about this attack, which actually is starting off really awkward for Showtime. He also has those Zealots in the natural.
That was a pretty bad fight on the left side, but yes, those Zealots on the natural are actually doing work. He will evacuate with a couple of Immortals and an Archon. But yeah, it could have gone so much better, especially the Templars didn't get to throw their storms as well as they did on the early defense. But those Zealots, they're still active.
You know, some of that still has to do with the creep spread, which is really quite amazing. If this is versus a Terran, I'd be like, Terran messed up a lot. It's like over halfway across the map in the middle 2 avenues, and the third one, the one that Showtime went down, was also good enough that Solir really had the time to think, okay, how am I going to take this fight? He got a concave, that's why Showtime kind of backed off initially, and then the awkward high Templars on the front line couldn't help as much as they would have liked. It's good, but that lack of tier 3 tech is really what's super concerning. If he had his way onto a greater Spire, it'd be like, wow, amazing. Instead, he's on Roach Hydra.
Yeah, he's still on Roach Hydra, and as much as I like Roach Hydra for its potential and the capacity it has to just take like decent fight, frontal and everything, yes, but yeah, we've got a pretty sizable Protoss army with +3 attack now, Immortals, Zealots, sizable number of Templars as well. He needs a couple more, but I think the game, as it goes on, still favors Showtime because of the lack of technology, as you mentioned.
And I really wish that Solir had immediately done something extreme, quote-unquote, like, you know, take another base or definitely done an Infestation Mid as soon as he took that one fight. Like, that's usually when Zerg's feel safe. He's like, bam, took a fight, now go on to the next thing. And he just stalled out. Felt the need to remax first, still stalling out. Okay, finally an Infestation Pit. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Usually, you take an advantage in a game. You take an objective, like a good fight. You have to do something with it. Expand, go further in terms of technology. And Solir didn't do it. That could be a problem for him as this game progresses. But still, the Infestation Pit is here now, but this army, how are you supposed to defend against it? We'll see if he can do it by going to form 2 fronts, but he gets welcomed by a nice storm in the face, and this Roach Hydra army looked good 6 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, but now against, how many Immortals are we looking at?
13.
Damn, 13. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much to handle, I think. Like, the Roaches are just a non-factor in this fight.
No, they might help against the Zealots a little bit, like for a little while, but the Immortals just punch through. The Zealots are all gone, and I guess there's no War Prism to help out anymore, but the Immortals, most of them still have their shield. I think there's like a couple of Storms left. And
none of them died.
Zealots.
It's still 13 Immortals, and yes, with 3 Templars still remaining, a couple of Storms, and the Prism that will just join up the main army and get some more Zealots on the field. I think Solir has been broken down, even though he still has 168 supply, is still producing units that are just not good enough against the army of Showtime.
This was the awkward, around the awkward point that he had to retreat, and the Immortals are going to die as soon as those hardened shields go away. This... no, actually, maybe there's too many Immortals. Amount of Immortals. And
now let's go for the micro in the Prism to finish off the job. Showtime on the verge of all killing Spain in this fight, and the new warping of Zealots is actually going to seal the deal. No, the Hydralisks were able to kill those, but I don't think it's going to matter that much, Jess. We're looking at an all kill for Showtime, just perfect throughout this entire series.
Some fireworks at the last minute of the game, right? A lot of those Immortals are going down once their shields were gone. But still not enough as the Archons finally came forward to tank. GG!
GG! Well, Showtime, doing what Showtime does the best, which is slaying nerds left and right, and he did it against Spain, and none of those players were just good enough to take a game out of him today.
Yeah, I just, unfortunately, like, as cool as that last game might have been with some open opportunities, none of the Spanish players really had the drive, the killing move.
So congratulations, Germany is the last nation to qualify for the round of 16. And what a game from Showtime. He looked good. Yeah,
Showtime is just too good.
This was really the defining moment, and it is something that I think a lot of lesser Protosses die to repeatedly on ladder. They probably think it's such an overpowered strat. And then Showtime is just like, this is exactly how you deal with it, no problem.
That's where you see that Showtime might be a robot, because like he looks at what's being dropped in his main and he's like, of course, I need 9 Zealots and 4 Immortals to defend that. And it's the exact same number, it's the exact number he needed, and it looked obvious to us, like, this is such a perfect split, even before the fight happened. And then on the right side, he had the right attention span to get the proper storm, the proper force field. Like the army he sent on the left side, 8-click army, like Immortals, Zealots with charge.
Yeah.
You just defend that without looking at it. And on the right side with the spellcasters, he was on it. And now this army, obviously, well, we said it. Roaches and Hydro just don't cut it at this moment.
Actually, a really good concave, you know? It was one of the better opportunities for Solier's army to try and take a fight, but the Immortals only started to lose their hardened shields when the Zealots were gone, which took forever. And then they continued forward here. I love how close it kind of got. There was like 4 Immortals at the end, so you can see that they didn't have the protective barrier, but it didn't actually matter. You know, Showtime was on to 5 bases and Tempest behind this.
Yeah. He had the transition. Well, while as we said, Solier just lacked the transition. He needed extra upgrades, probably lurkers, and as you mentioned, probably one of the best options in the late game with Broodlords. But he just didn't get the time, or he didn't take the decision to go to that stage of the game. Probably too afraid of dying because of that. But as he took the fight on the left side, that's the moment he should have fired up that infestation pit.
Yeah.
So we have the second all kill of today here.
Yeah.
And I think Tielo is here online with us.
Oh, Dario.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, guys.
Hello, congratulations for your qualification.
Well, thank you so much. Of course, we were hoping to qualify again after last NationWars performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Showtime here, he all killed Spain. So I'd like to know why you sent Showtime first.
Well, we just kind of discussed, who wants to go first, like who felt like it, and Showtime just went ahead. Everybody kind of stepped backwards while he, stayed in the place. And we felt against Spain that we can, win probably no matter who we send forward. And Showtime just felt like doing it.
Okay, so you knew it would be an all kill from Showtime?
Well, Showtime, I think we all expected for it to be an all kill, yeah.
And did you know well about the Spanish players? Have you ever met them on the ladder or in a tournament?
Yeah, of course. Solier is somebody we play quite a lot on ladder, and I think all of them we've encountered on ladder before. But Spain used to have a stronger team. Unfortunately, nowadays they're not one of the top countries in Europe anymore.
Okay, so
Do you think the same about France? Now that we got 4-0?
Well, it's unfortunate, but Reynolds is a beast,
Yeah.
I think you kind of got unlucky running into that youngster,
Yeah.
Yeah, and bringing up Italy.
And like Reynolds, he's like, his peak performance is incredible. Like, he's still a little bit shaky, but I felt like you ran into peak performance Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting that he was on peak performance, considering he traveled half the world from China to go back to his place and then play NationWars and still peak performance. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's young.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, you can do that.
They
does
don't
it
care.
mean you're
You know it,
old?
Dario.
Yeah, not that young anymore.
And if you play against Reina, are you confident you could beat him?
I feel pretty good against Raynor. I feel CVC is one of my stronger matchups, and Raynor is extremely strong mechanically, but he has some weaknesses, which I'm not necessarily going to reveal now, because I don't want to tell him.
Smart.
Okay,
Smart.
so Germany is the last nation to get qualified for the round of 16. Have you been watching the previous games this week?
I have watched a couple of the games, but the big games are still coming up, right? I think pretty much every result was expected, and I'm just super looking forward to the drawing of the pools now, because that's when it gets really interesting. But I did saw Taiwan against Russia, and I was actually surprised that Russia got so close to making it. That would have been a nice upset.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So is there a specific player who caught your eyes and you said, wow, that's a good player?
Well, Showtime.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Yeah, that's...
But he always catches my eye, though.
Yeah. And
it's-
if you had to choose the top 4 nations in this tournament, who would it be?
Well, Korea is quite obvious, right? Then I would say Germany is one of the top 4. Poland, and let's see, who could we pick as a 4th? I would pick Canada if they actually had their A team, but unfortunately
A-team.
that's not the case this time.
Yeah, Netherlands.
Just by it's Netherlands, but the question is, would you rather pick the USA or Norway just because of Cyril and Lee? They by
Finland.
themselves.
Finland, yeah.
Finland,
It's
yeah,
not-
Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
good
that
question.
they have a good case for 4th place too. But if you go look at a well-rounded 3-player team, Netherlands would probably be the top 4
Yeah,
pick
because
as well,
if you think about it, I think in NationWars 4, most of the teams were more like deep lineup rather than just heavy hitters. I mean, maybe Canada, you could argue it was Scarlet and the rest wasn't as good. But if you look at Germany, if you look at Poland, if you look at Korea, all 3 teams were more like, you know, deeply oriented lineup. Like, so in that regard, I think Netherlands is kind of scary when you think about it.
Yes.
I think, especially considering Uthermal is supposed to be like super freaking good these days.
Yeah. You know, Roddy's convinced that he's actually probably the best Terran. I should say foreigner Terran.
Foreign Terran.
Yes, but yeah, he really thinks he's
Uthermal,
good.
Yes.
Yeah, Uthermal's foreign Terran. Roddy
Yeah.
thinks Uthermal is. Sorry if that wasn't clear.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, I
I
kind
would
of
agree with
but-
that.
Yeah.
Well, Hero Marine has a good case too, though.
Ah.
Oh, he's
I
defending
feel-
his teammate.
I feel
Nobody should.
well, it's hard because like teammate was teammate, right? It's Germany versus Team Liquid.
it's nice.
I think Hero Marine is a little bit more stable, but Mark has higher peaks.
Okay. And maybe last question. Last year, you guys were eliminated in the top 4 in the round of 4, and that was because of Korea. And what do you think about this year's Korea compared to last year?
I don't think they got any less scary.
Okay.
Really?
I do think I do still think they're just gonna win the tournament, and I hope if you make it to the round of 4 that you're gonna be on the other half of the bracket this time. But we'll
okay.
see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay, that's
good.
nice. Well, congratulations. Do you have any last words for your fans watching you?
And obviously you
Well,
can
you
do
know,
it in
just-
German.
Ah ja, natürlich. Dann vielen Dank für die Unterstützung und dass ihr auch wieder für mich gewotet habt, dass ich in den NationWars spielen kann. Und ja, hoffentlich schaffen wir es wieder zum Finale in Paris.
All right.
All right.
Confidence.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
interview and
Thank you, Dario.
congratulations for advancing on the next round. And see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
See you, Dario. All right.
So-
Good interview. Solid. TLO has always been solid in interviews, you know?
Yeah.
Clear,
Likable guy.
defends his team, says Showtime is the most impressive player,
Yeah.
that Hero Marine might be the best Terran in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
What a good guy.
He is a good guy.
What a great captain. What
Exactly.
a great captain.
And it's set. We have our 16 nations qualify in the round of 16, and we're gonna do the draw, but after the break. But maybe we have some tweets to see. You've been tweeting a lot, and I don't know how many of you are watching the NationWars right now, but
Okay.
I hope you're enjoying it. Okay, we have some tweets from
There we go.
Borsty.
I do it in order.
A NationWars 5 meme in 3 parts.
Yes.
Part 1, the pilot. That's Showtime. The hit Marine. Moves Hero Marine. What is it going to be for Dario?
I didn't actually see the third one, so I'm curious as well.
The
Part
brains?
Did he ever do it?
three.
Did
Bring it on.
did paint crash?
Building up
and
the
he-
expectation.
You never got that tweet
Maybe
out?
we'll get the part 3 after the break.
Ah, there it is.
Oh.
The
Oh, it's such
artist.
a perfect picture. Oh my good god.
Oh.
Bossy is getting better and better at those paint drawings.
Yeah, someone actually bought him Photoshop and it's
Exactly, maybe he's getting better.
Okay, that's nice. And we're gonna do the draw. That's the only remaining thing here for this first week.
Okay.
I hope you really enjoyed all the games. Like it's been crazy. 3 series on 2 Thursdays and 4 other one. And now we're done and we only have the draw remaining. And see you after the break. Don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to draw because we have the 16 nations qualify for the next round. And I'm here with Aromi, who is the director of this tournament, and Funka, of course.
He's not used to be on camera. You know him as a Pokemon on Twitter, but he's also a real person that will actually be the one drawing everything.
Yes.
Are you scared, excited?
No, I want to draw some scary groups.
Okay, you want to draw the group of death. Okay, apparently. Okay, so I'm gonna try and explain to you how it will work. Okay, we've got 16 nations And out of those 60 nations, we draw 4 groups, 4 pots. Those pots are seeds, okay? So we've got seed 1, seed 2, seed 3, seed 4. Part of the seed 1 is Korea, South Korea, Poland, USA, and China. Those teams, they are here, all right? Tier 2 will be Finland, Mexico, Canada, and Germany. This is poll 2. Tier 3 is Norway, Chinese Taipei, Brazil, and Sweden. That's here. And Tier 4 will be Netherlands, Ukraine, Italy, and the United Kingdom. Every single group will have one of all those polls.
Yes.
So what we will do is that we will start by drawing all seed 1s and put them in the 4 different groups. So I guess if you guys all got that, hey Romy,
Yes, I'm gonna
Ready?
start.
you will do the honor.
So,
So the top seed of Pool A. Essaye de le faire sur, try to do it on the table.
We have China for the first
Go ahead.
group, so we're gonna group China.
Group China. Attends, on continue dans celui-là du coup. Keep on going with this one. We want to do all seed 1 for every single group.
So for their sets, it's based on the rankings with the WCS points of 2017 and this year, but without Katowice. And here we have the second group, and it's gonna be Group Korea.
South Korea will be in Group B. Okay, let's go for a third one.
so,
And third group, we're gonna go with USA.
USA is Group 3. So we will fill out those informations as soon as we get them. Group C will have North America, and if everything is working properly, this should be Poland. Else we screwed that up quite badly.
And here we go.
It is Poland. All right. So we've got the top seeds for every group. China will be in Group A, South Korea in Group B, and USA in Group C, as well as Poland is in Group D. So now let's draw Tier 2. I will remember you those teams. It's Finland, Mexico, Canada, or Germany. So joining China, it will be...
And it's Canada.
Canada will join China in Group A. Joining South Korea. Could be Finland, Mexico, or Germany.
And it's Mexico.
Mexico will have to play against South Korea in Group B. Interesting. Now in Group C, joining the USA.
And it looks like it's Germany.
Germany. USA against Germany in the Group C. And the last remaining should be... What is it?
Finland.
It should be Finland. Finland versus Poland.
Wow.
All right. So now on to the third seed. It's either Norway, Chinese Taipei, Brazil, or Sweden. Let's see. Joining China and Canada.
We have here Norway.
Norway. Okay.
It's really red. The group China
Yeah, the
is
group
really
is
red.
super red. China, Canada, and Norway in Group A. I guess. Looking like a good group. Joining South Korea and
And
Mexico.
We have Chinese Taipei.
Okay.
it's going to be a fun group, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun group
We have
indeed.
South Korea, Mexico, Chinese Taipei. And now with Group USA, who's going to join them in Group C?
Sweden or Brazil?
And it looks like it's Sweden.
Sweden. And the last in the last group, it's going to be Brazil then. Poland, Finland, and Brazil.
And yes, indeed, this is Brazil.
Okay, now in Tier 4, we've got some scary teams actually. Netherlands, Ukraine, Italy, and the United Kingdom. So to finish off Group A, China, Canada, Norway, and
And this is Italy.
it's a doable group for Italy.
Yes.
It's a really doable group for Italy.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Netherlands is still in the pool. So I think, oh my god, if they end up in Group D looks like Group of Death to me.
I want to see Snoot Rainer. And now we have United Kingdom for Group B with South Korea, Mexico, and Chinese Taipei.
I think you will have your Group of Death, man. It's looking like it.
Yeah.
USA,
It's going to be really
Germany,
fun.
Sweden.
If this is Netherlands, I'm just gonna quit.
I think Group D is even worse, actually.
Oh really? Oh yeah, Poland, Finland.
It's Ukraine? No, Netherlands. Okay,
Oh
Netherlands
my
in Group
God.
C. USA, Germany, Sweden, Netherlands. Oh my god, it's
Netherlands for Group C.
still a tough one.
And so the last nation is Ukraine.
Ukraine. So Poland, Finland, Brazil, and Ukraine. And here we have those groups. Group A, China, Canada, Norway, Italy. Group B will be South Korea, Mexico, Chinese Taipei, United Kingdom. Group C with USA, Germany, Sweden, Netherlands. And to finish things off in Group D, Poland, Finland, Brazil, and Ukraine. Are you happy, Aromi?
Yes.
You're really happy?
Yes, I hope we are going to see tears.
Okay, that's a good tournament director, you know, like he wants people to actually cry. Here you have it, the group for NationWars 5. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it is. But you know, we had really 16 strong teams here, so we had to. We expected really hard group. So,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited to be next week.
Yep. And I think we can talk about
When do we start?
Yeah, when are we starting?
We're starting on Tuesday, and it's gonna be at 7 p.m. for the first game of round of 16. And from the next round, it's a double elimination bracket,
Correct.
actually, like in the GSL.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have two games, two series a day.
Two
Yeah,
series
two
a day.
series a day.
2 series a day, and so don't miss. It's on Tuesday.
Yes.
See you, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Bye. See you on Tuesday.